Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Now the reason I set the channel up was that I wanted to show collectors, and I know you guys have got some good collections out there, what you could be doing once you bought your figure. And this guy is Nightmare Batman, which I've covered in the past, so I'm not going to go into reviewing him. I'm just going to show you a series of poses of him on the diorama that you'll see him on, and that's him with the binoculars right close up on his face. Now they said you couldn't get that pose, but if you persevere you can achieve it. But that diorama he's on, I've had many figures on it, my Marvel Legends figures, my Star Wars Blackflix series and DC, but I don't think I've reviewed him on the diorama you're looking at the moment. So this is just a quick look at the figure again in various poses, and that's a pose they said was difficult to achieve, but as you can see, it's possible. And I'm a firm believer of using the accessories the figure comes with, and the only accessory this figure came with was the binoculars. The other things you're seeing with the figure, like that weapon there, came off my X-Men Maggot figure, and the sidearm there on the belt section, you can just about make it out. That came from my McFarlane's accessory pack. So without going on any further, I'm just going to start changing them out, showing you a few poses just to show you what you can do. That's the first pose coming up now. I've dropped his arm so you can see that likeness, and I think for this level that's not a bad likeness of Ben Affleck Nightmare Batman. And in the past, if you tuned into the channel, you would have seen him with those goggles down, but you're not going to see that today. But I don't think I've reviewed him on the diorama, which is the reason I'm doing this. So it's not going to be a long review on the posability of this figure. Just going to show you some ideas. And funny enough, the last time I did this, I did it with the BBS version of this character. So let's bring out the next one. So I've removed the sidearm from the belt section. I quite like the way he looks there. I like to try to create a little bit of movement in the figure, so it makes it interesting. That's just my personal taste. But I'm showing you some angle shots, and I think it elevates the qualities of a low-end figure like this. And with my collection, I always play the waiting game. It was full retail price of about 25 quid, but I noticed when I went into my toy outlet that he dropped down to about $15.99. So part of the fun of collecting things like this is the chase of getting him at the right price. Not that I don't mind paying that price of $25.99, but if you can get a bargain and you can get something you like, then it's worth it. So let's bring on the next one. So I've just changed the angle really. Haven't really posed him, just showing a different perspective. Good job I haven't got a lisp. I quite like that. And this figure at the moment is upstairs in my bedroom, but I wanted to see him on this diorama, which is what this kind of posing review is about. And it looks pretty likely that I'm going to keep him on this for now. So when the up and coming Christmas tour, you might see him like this, not in this pose, but I'm just showing you a few of my ideas. Okay, like that. Let's go on to the next. So I've just squared him on, just so you can see that. And as you can see, I've attached the binoculars back into the belt section, tilted his head down, give him some attitude, had his side arm down by the side of his body, kind of like that. And I'm really liking this diorama. So I think with me, because I spend a lot of time in my living room, my collection is all over my home, but because I do spend a lot of time in my living room, I'm going to bring him from upstairs, downstairs, because as I said, he's in my bedroom, so I can have a look at him whenever I'm down here. But that weapon seems to suit him. As I said before, it's from the X-Man Maggot. But I put various weapons on this figure. If you checked out the channel, you would have seen that. But I like him with this. And Batman with any weapon is always a good thing anyway, especially with this kind of look. So let's bring on the next one. Haven't changed the pose, just wanted to see a side profile. So I won't dwell on this too much. Kind of like that. You can see a bit more of the binoculars there. I do like that side profile. Okay. So here's another one for you. Nice. I'm going to watch this back and see which ones I like. And eventually what I'll do is I'll pose him in one of the poses you've been seeing today, which is kind of what I like to do. As I'm always tilted, let me just pause that and correct that. I do like doing things like that. You know, when you tilt, it's funny because I call them my outtakes. I don't have many of them. If it's really bad, I'll just start the whole thing again, but I like things like that. I like the amateur approach to my work. I think it's nice to see your collectors doing your scripted bits and your kind of ballpoint articulation and your posability sort of technical words, but I like things like that when they sort of fall over. I like to include them in my reviews. I think it's more natural for me to be like that. Sometimes I say certain things that are not correct, but it's all new to me because I'm really about just showing you the poses, not being too fancy. So I'm going to leave that outtake in for you, just to show you that I'm not about promoting the channel really. I'm just trying to show you some fun. This one was a bit fiddly actually. I've returned the sidearm to the belt section. And even if I don't like a particular pose, I like to get it on camera. It's a good reference point for future poses. That's not a very good one really. I'm my most severe critic actually. So let's try improving on that. A little bit better. But I don't think it's going to be one I'll be using again. It doesn't look like natural actually, so I'll come back to it and work on it and maybe shoot it again. Let's change it out before he topples over. Sometimes they say less is more, so all I've done is drop the arms down so you can see a bit more of his face. That looks more natural for me. Yeah, that looks better. I feel an outtake is coming though, because the pegs the figure's standing on aren't the best, but I've tried to find the balance, which is part of the fun, so it doesn't topple over. Let's get in that close. That's a nice angle. And I do like that lightness. I think it does come close to what he looks like in the actual movie. Okay, I'll pause it. I'll bring out two more and then we'll call it a day. All I've done is dropped his head. There's an outtake there. Love it, I love it, I love it. I'll just pause it and correct that. I love it. Just shows you that I'm still learning this game, but I wanted to create that menacing look. And I do like that. I've been watching a lot of your reviews actually, and I've been seeing a lot of the poses you've been putting your figures into. So I do get inspiration from other collectors. But as I say, it's all new to me. I'm not got a big following, but I do thank those who have subscribed and said some nice things. I don't mind the critical stuff, really. My ego ain't like that. You know, it helps me to improve in this game. I might just do a review actually and put it together, all the outtakes, like the falling over stuff, because that makes me laugh. I'm naturally a humorous guy. But I'm not going to go on much longer with this. I'll bring out one more and leave it like that. Or before I do, I just try one little thing. That's all I wanted to see. Just tilt his head upwards. Okay. Right, let's give you one more, because it's just about posing him out, and we'll leave it there. Okay, I just brought out the binoculars again, because I'm a guy that likes to use the accessories. That accessory was the only thing it came with. I'll just do one more with the binoculars and end the review. So that's just really sideways on. Tilted his head up. Alright, okay, definitely the last one coming up now. So let's bring out the last pose. So this officially is the last pose, side profile, and I do feel another outtake is coming, but I don't mind that. Bring it on, Batman. And I'm going to turn it to the front and end it there. But I do like that angle, especially when you get in close like that. Okay, let's finish it off. So that's his last pose. Just raise the gun arm or the rifle arm, and you get to see everything there. You'll see the sidearm there attached to the belt section. Of course, the binoculars, that's the only accessory he came with. And that weapon there, which is off my maggot figure. That's a nice look. So he's going to stay on this diorama. He's going to come downstairs. And they're currently making the next one of Batman starring Robert Pattinson. Looking forward to that. And Clayface apparently is going to feature in that film. But there are some other projects coming out. Spider-Man, A Brand New Day's come out. I'm going to see that. And I'm looking forward to some of the films Marvel are going to do, starting with Avengers Doomsday. But it's been all about this guy and posing him. And I'll do this from time to time because this is the posing channel. I'll bring back figures you've seen before. And I'll get them into poses that I've not tried out. So with all the outtakes and the fluffing of the lines, I quite enjoyed this review. It's a learning curve for me, and I do appreciate your positive comments, but throw some negative ones, mate. Bring it on. I love it because I like to improve. And I've had some good advice off mates, one of them being my mate. Check out Ray's collection and subscribe. Hopefully his big project is coming to an end, and you'll see what a great job he's done of creating that project and I will talk about him from time to time, well, a lot, because he's been a help to me in some advice on how to get this channel going. So on that note, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.